hear me okay though?
Yeah,
Okay, I got Leroy on the other phone too, so if ever you guys can't hear us, you gotta let me know.
Yep, I will.
Gentlemen?
Morning.
Morning.
How do you identify?
What?
Oh, and lady.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention, I'm rolling in today.
Should I slide this one here?
He has one in his phone too.
Oh.
Morning. Good morning.
Morning. Leroy and Jerry, are you both gonna stand for the pledge?
Yeah, I'm standing.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks.
Okay, roll call. Ed?
Here.
Jason?
Here.
Leroy?
Here.
Jerry?
Yeah,
Okay. Approve the agenda. Is there any changes or anything?
I didn't have any.
Okay, I take a motion on the agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have support. I'll support that.
support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, January 25th minutes. I would take a motion on them when somebody's ready.
For approval.
Got a motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Okay. Do we just want to vote, or do we want to go into closed session, or what do we want to do? Jerry and Leroy, do you have anything you want to discuss?
No.
Are we closed, or did we not, I didn't quite catch all that.
Nobody's made a motion to go into closed session.
Okay, the only question I have is, are we guaranteed not to have it ever cost us any money? Is there any guarantee to that?
Just a minute. There'll be no, we will not be charged for anything.
There's no legal fees and no cost to you guys. I mean, I can't say there won't ever be, if somehow there was some cost or judgment against it, I mean, I can't, but I think that's very unlikely, and there's no cost to you upfront. I mean, that's the honest answer.
And if we had to hire an expert or anything like that, would we be on the hook for that, or would that be something that would be?
Yeah, normally, but like right now, we have all the experts retained, so no, not right now.
Did you hear that, Jerry?
Oh, I heard part of it, something squeaking in the background, I don't know if it's the phone or what.
That's probably Leroy.
I'll stop squeaking.
Okay, you stop squeaking. I spread you apart, maybe that will help.
Yeah, that kinda helps. The way I took it is, unless they had to hire outside counsel, did I catch that right?
Experts, retain experts.
Expert, yeah.
But the way it sounds, they've got all the experts hired now.
Yeah, and to the extent, like, if there is a recovery, each party pays their proportionate cost of, the experts. So if you have, if you recover $100 and expert fees were 10, everybody, if it was divided 3 ways, pays their share of expert fees out of the, so $3.33 or whatever that amounts to.
But out of our pocket right now, there's no.
Out of pocket now, no, you're not gonna see a bill, there's no bill.
So way we can give approval that we would have review of that expenditure prior to anything like that taking place or not?
We have to agree, both parties have to agree, or both parties have to agree to make expenditures.
Right, so the way a normal contingency fee agreement would read is that, you know, the parties aren't obligated to, pay any costs, and that the attorney's fees are covered from, as a percentage of recovery. And then it will go down further and say, as with respect to costs that are incurred, each party pays a proportionate share from any recovery. So, you know, I guess what I would suggest, if that was what you wanted to do, I could give, you know, if you approved it, I would do a draft, and then let Nolan review it, and if Nolan's comfortable with whatever your wishes are, then that would be how it would be. But yeah, it's all by contract, between attorney and the client, but yes, you guys are paying your share of out of any recovery, you're gonna pay your share cost. But to the extent there's not a recovery, there's not cost.
What's your percent?
Right now, 1/3.
1/3?
Yeah.
So, your language you provided, Nolan, identifies that we would make the efforts to retain the firm, so then we would review that and could assure that it's written up the way that was just described. Not that I doubt it is, but we aren't actually approving signing that without having it review, or,
Well, that language is, you're directing me to secure the services and counsel.
and you're under the understanding that we wanted to make sure that we aren't hooked for costs.
If that's your direction as a board, you're certainly welcome to make that. I would say that, given what we've talked about, and I think there's an understanding of what the basic parameters we've got, I'm comfortable with you guys just giving me the directive to approve a fee agreement. Now, it's your choice if you want to review that. I think that this will be a pretty standard contingency fee agreement, and that, you know, any further review wouldn't necessarily be needed. Your guys' call what you want to do there.
He's identifying, and your understanding is that if we had expert witness costs, they would bear the cost. If there's a settlement or a winning, then it would come out of that proportionally.
Yes, and it's my
So
understanding.
we aren't paying up front.
Yeah, right now, there are no upfront expenses. If there's more later, we would come back and we would talk about that, correct?
Exactly, yep. So, like right now, there's not gonna be like a statement or a recurring cost to you. It's just, I'm just trying to identify the issue of if there is a recovery, you're gonna say, well, I thought we didn't have to pay those, but everybody has to pay their share if there's a prevailing judgment.
Well, I guess to me, there's a difference between suing somebody represented by Dorsey Whitney and actually suing the firm of Dorsey Whitney. And those guys have very deep pockets and a lot of resources at their disposal. 1,500 employees, 589 lawyers, over $500 million in revenue every year. And they have the resources to dedicate to this. And I don't think, being a steward of the county's money, that it would probably be best if we had somebody with the resources to go toe-to-toe with that. And nothing against your firm, you guys are a good firm, but I don't know that you have the resources to dedicate like they do to this issue.
Is that a question?
I don't know how you can compete with it. I mean, it would make more sense to go get like Fredericks and Byron or Baker McKenzie or somebody that is a larger firm that has more access to the people to dedicate to this, because you're gonna have like first year associates just filling you full of briefs, and they've got all the time in the world to dedicate to this, and
What is your basis of experience for that?
talking to other lawyers.
Okay. Well, I represent myself, some of the largest businesses around here. We go around the country, we represent a railroad. We go up against big firms, and it doesn't bother us. And I think Harris's current position in the litigation is proof of that. So I think it's kind of a spun up.
I think there's a difference though between if you're suing somebody represented by that firm, that person has the ability to do what they want to with running out of money, they cannot want to fight the case anymore. But if you're actually suing the firm, that's a whole different thing. It's not the same as, you know, somebody representing a client that you're going up against. You're going after the firm.
Respectfully, I disagree. and respectfully, I think there's no basis for that logic.
No. That's my thoughts on it. Just looking at the dollar amounts involved and the amount of people they have to dedicate to this, I just don't see where you have the resources to keep up with it.
I'm litigating a $5 million farm lawsuit in Sioux County. You know, everything's big numbers anymore, so I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Jerry, Leroy?
I'll be honest, I'm only catching bits and pieces of this, so I'm not sure. I apologize for not being there, but I'm just catching bits of this chirping and paper shuffling, and I can't hear anything, so.
Okay. Are you guys ready to vote or not?
The attorney provided us with language to proceed or to not proceed. I will use that language. I will make the motion after receiving further information and after consultation with the county attorney. The board hereby agrees to join as a plaintiff in the matter as discussed. Further directs the county attorney to make all necessary efforts to retain the voters of Old Dawson, Rockland, and Quickie as their counsel in this matter on a contingency fee basis, subject to the consent of the city of Paris.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain because I caught very little of this conversation, so I'm just gonna abstain. I don't.
Okay.
And I would say I would have to too.
We already got you down for a yes, Leroy.
Well, I guess he changed it.
Are you?
You guys asked to have this meeting, decision at a different time. Okay.
Do you guys have any questions we could clarify or restate some of the discussion? We could maybe make sure that you guys have better audio access.
Even at that, 2-1 would be the vote, and 2 abstentions would make.
You have a majority of the members of the body voting, and you certainly have a quorum. I think you can still, that still carries. I can certainly check on that for you, but I think that still carries.
What is this squeaky?
I don't know what that is.
That's my guess.
Okay, well, according to this, it's a 2-1 vote with two of them abstaining, so motion passes. Any other business?
I would just state my concerns over the reconsideration and looking at the past motion. It actually did not get voted down. It just did not pass. It was a 2-2, 1 abstention. So I don't believe this is truly reconsideration of a prior vote. And there was another point, sorry.
Was it maybe that we had talked about Robert's Rules of Order being a rough guide for how we did things, but it wasn't actually a binding document on us?
Yeah, my concerns on that reconsideration approach come out of Robert's Rules. I don't believe there's anything in state code that indicated that as a requirement, but under those two things, that's where I'm comfortable with
Okay.
proceeding with discussion and action on it.
Sounds good. Any other business? I'll take a motion to adjourn. Sit here all day.
You guys can hang out if you want.
Jerry and Ed, Jerry and Leroy, you don't want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll do a clean sweep. I'll make every motion today. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Leroy second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Sorry you couldn't hear very well, Jerry and Leroy.
That's alright.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Alright.
I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
just,
either.
it was chirping and.
I can hear it here too.
So I don't know what that is.
Is it on both?
drink it, that's for me.
Right.
You correct me this thing, sorry.
Mike Kruger will drink it.
And I didn't figure you were gonna make it, I made it own.
You would, I'll take care of it, drink coffee, so it's all good, maybe John would want some too, so.
And if you, think about it,
I will.
yeah, tell her not to.
I did, well, thank you, that makes me feel a little bit better, like. Barb is still in the